Hi, my name is Jim Granzow, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about this website. When I was a child, I looked forward to my life in the future because my present life was so unhappy, so fraught with stress, feeling alone, lied to, unloved. My adolescence was depression, looking to get out of childhood so that I could live my life. When I reached my 20s, I realized that life wasn't worth living because I found no happiness, no joy, no purpose. I tried studying the Word of God and becoming a priest. There was no joy there. I found very little of God there. There's flashes of happiness, but still I had no purpose. When I was in my 20s, I realized that suicide was the only way out because everything else was so black and so dark. I couldn't imagine living my life any longer with so much bleakness. Well, I decided to commit suicide, and I put it off for 6 months so that those around me wouldn't know that I killed myself. And in those 6 months there was hope. There was some sort of peace. I had made a decision. The first decision I'd really made for myself. The first thing in my life that I thought was for me alone. In that ensuing 6 months I accepted the fact that these were my last days. During that time, there wasn't the blackness, there wasn't the depression. There was only a sense of wonder at the life that I was giving up. That set me on my path that made me realize that there was something more to life than just blackness and depression and isolation. In that path, I spent 32 years as a hairdresser, 10 years in college, trying to find the answer in psychology, in religion, and then in joy and design. I became a hairdresser to put myself through college, and what I realized that there were many people out there that had the same afflictions as I had. Many people out there that were looking for the same answers that I'd been looking at, and they were much older, much more experienced, much more knowledgeable than I was. What I wound up doing is counseling them and myself, trying to help them see a way, a path out of their confusion, upset, divorce. The path of trying to help them gave me an index, so to speak, of the different problems and the solutions that seemed to give them light. All of them came from an overview. It's what I call the bird's eye view. Removing yourself from inside of yourself and looking down on you, your society, and the way you live your life and the decisions you make and who you make them for. The ensuing 32 years gave me a way of understanding people's problems, a way of looking at them with that third eye, with that overview. When I retired, I wanted to put together those things that gave me hope in the beginning, gave me counsel, gave those countless of hundreds of clients of mine hope and counsel. So I started weaving together the common threads in everybody's problems and everybody's situations. And I started to try to reason why we have so many things in common. In the next time to come, and in these pages, you will find articles, videos with thoughts for you to consider, thoughts for you to look inside of yourself to see if those thoughts seem to be logical. I believe that logic and reason are gifts that we have been given to make our path and to understand. And it's not the kind of complicated book learning. It's simply looking inside of yourself, trying to find the answer inside of yourself, learning how to trust yourself, learning how to trust your decisions, learning how to take advice from others and see if it really applies to us and our talents. Because if it doesn't apply to our talents, if it doesn't show us something that comes from within ourselves, it's not a valid path. We need to choose a path in life that helps us, that's our own talents showing us the way. That's why we have our talents. We were intended to follow our gifts and our talents, to be true to ourselves, and to find our path in life. Our path is supposed to be joyous and happy, as a little child is before he's been spoiled by outside fears. God gave us the gifts that He gave us for a reason. And that reason is for us to follow. If we do not look inside of ourselves, if we do not trust ourselves, those gifts will go undone, unacknowledged, unexpressed, and our true path missed in life. All of us have a true path. We all have something or many things to follow if we use our gifts and our desires. Out of our gifts, we create our desires. Out of our desires, we create our goals. Out of that, we create the energy to seek our goals. If we choose a path or a goal that we have no gifts for, the energy is very small. It takes pure drive. And then it's not joyous. We have our emotions to appreciate. We've been given our emotions as a part of this wonderful existence that we have here. When we are afraid of our emotions, we bury them. We stop listening. We make little decisions that close down our lives until our lives are full of fears, unexpressed emotions, and certainly unvalidated gifts. Because when you're full of fear, when you're full of angst, your true sense of self can't come out. That person who you really are, that beautiful inner being that you are, it's impossible to get out through all that fear. You block your energies, you block your trust. You block the very thing that gives you the answers and the way. I suggest that each one of you spend some time during the day quieting everything, even if you have to go to the bathroom and lock the door. Just for 10 minutes, sit down, clear your mind, see a peaceful setting, like a beach, or a library, or in front of a fire, and go there for a few minutes and just let your thoughts run through your mind. Those thoughts that are positive, look at. Those are negative, acknowledge and move on. You're not your thoughts, you're the thoughts that you entertain. So anyway, I hope that you will find help, at least thoughtfulness, to consider the things that I will put forth in this web. I've written a book called A Bird's Eye View, trying to give people an overview of some of the things in our societies that we accept without consideration. Some things that we accept in our religions and yet never examine. All the beliefs that we created as a child because of our parents and our environment and our religion and our government need to be considered and looked at and made sense of for yourself. All these things will make you an individual. All these things will bring your individuality out. All these things will make your life fuller. Each thing that you consider and decide for yourself whether it's right or wrong, whether you could do something about it or not, that is what makes you a thinking, well-adjusted human being. I hope these articles will help you find the path to your self-worth, will help you find the path to making your decisions, finding the joy and the gifts inside of yourself, because it has for me. Thank you.